Hey, welcome to a foreigner in the Philippines where best laid plans of men all go awry when circumstances come in, such as being out of stock. It's a familiar phrase that you hear here, and when stock runs out, that's when they reorder. Now, I was doing quite well here. Instead of cutting the whole thing out, I cut out half. Now I'll replace enough to bring up the level and then repanel the whole thing. But we got the insulation is in. Now we're finding that this, what I call 8th ply, I'm out of 8th ply. I may have half a sheet or so left, maybe a sheet in bits. So not able to actually finish that job to the point I would have liked to have done. So I'm going on. There's always a ton of work. Obviously I'm doing the whole house, so there's a ton of work to do. It won't stop me, it will just change the course that I'm taking, and this is the course that I'm taking right now. I blocked off this double-sided shelf. That was an open shelf. Haven't found that the open shelf works because you can put something in on this side and it falls out on the other. I know it's a no-brainer now, but it left everything very open at first, which I really liked. So not overjoyed by cutting down the light into here, but then I intend to run this out. I always intended to run it out this way so that it came out the same. So I will be looking at bringing it along this line here, and then have the concealed lighting in there as well, which will, for the dining nook, will be quite a nice effect. I'm also going to do that here as well to cover that beam and put lighting in there. This, when it's demessed, will be my desk area, and this one I'm working on now and tomorrow will be Beth's area as well. Well, it used to have a bench here going between these two places. I've taken the wooden supports out, and what we have now is the frame. Now you got to think back to quite a few years ago when I did all of this. The easiest material to get to the site was metal stud, and that's what you're seeing here. So I really utilized the way that metal stud is used, and I made everything out of metal stud. As you can see, the supports were metal stud. Then I covered it in plywood enough to support the bench that went across. So I took that out. You can see here that I used metal stud as the basis for here. You can see it very clearly under there. I mean, I use metal stud for everything because I could get it. It was easy, and it was easy to get to the site. Okay, Bogey, you got your feed. Bogey came in, paid me a visit so that he could feed on some of the cat's food. Okay, bye-bye. Come on then, let me give you... No, he said the food was enough. I usually give him a hug, he's a big dog. So, back to the work. So I probably will have enough, I'll have enough plywood to be able to come in and put back the paneling here, and maybe even that there, though I won't try that today because it means these sockets will be disturbed, which I actually don't want to do right now. So what I might do is, I might do what I've done in here. Instead of taking out the whole thing, I'll cut enough out of there to be able to get the insulation in, and probably as much as or as little as that, and take it out to there. Look, take that top part out, and then I'll be able to slip the insulation down from the top then I'll just replace as much as I need to of that, and then do the whole thing in plywood when I have it. They haven't got 1/8 plywood, and that's what I need the most of right now. But I can reinstate this. I never actually finished this. It needs to be trimmed off, and then it needs, this is just a scrap piece of wood that I'm using just to show how that will be covered. Obviously I'll cover the whole thing so that that's all covered in. I'm going to remove this. This will not be a support, but I'm not going to do that until I have something to replace it. And what I'm planning on replacing it with is a cabinet there, which Beth will be able to access from the side, and she'll have her office stuff. And I'll suspend that like I've done there. If you look at, see, look, in other words, there's a kick plate there, what you would in a kitchen you call a kick plate or a kickboard. You recess, you lift the cabinet say 3 to 4 inches off the floor, and then you recess it in say 3 to 4 inches depending on taste, and then the cabinet is not flat on the floor, which somehow doesn't ever look right. So that's what I'll be doing there. Bring us back into focus. I'll be removing these two, this one and this one. So right now I plan on making up 2 cabinets. One cabinet for here, one cabinet for there. Simple cabinets. I'm going to leave everything underneath, I think, open. That'll be places where we can store boxes if we have to. In other words, sealed, things that are already sealed. So that's my work plan. My disappointment for today, we hiked up and down between Taliban and Taffy trying to get materials. What I'm finding is that one of the challenges, if you come out here and you're a kind of do-it-yourself kind of guy, you will come up against the out-of-stock phrase, and when that's given to you as a reason for them not having what you want, you have to push past that and accept that you are the foreigner. It's you that doesn't know how to express what you want, and it's not the person who is serving you, it's not her or his fault that he doesn't know what the heck you're talking about. Plus, you might even be from Manchester, or I don't know, from somewhere worse. You might be from Newcastle or Birmingham and have a pretty tough accent for someone whose first language is not English. So you have to be able to express what you want. And as long as you understand, as I said, that it's you that doesn't know and that you are the foreigner, as long as you understand that, then you'll be fine. You will do everything with good humor, and people will really try very hard to help you. You see what for an example, what I'm holding right now is well, we could call it plastic rope, couldn't we? So let's say that you needed something to tie down to your truck, and you go in and you say, oh, I need some string. Yes, something to tie on. They might get that, maybe not. I need something, string. No, we don't have any string. Do you have any rope? No, don't have any rope. Out of stock. You've got a guy there who's doing his best to understand what you want, and he doesn't want to be embarrassed, and so he says that he's out of stock. Well, okay. If you then could explain to him what you are going to use it for, you have a chance to make headway. But if you don't, you'll eventually find out that what you're calling string or rope is called straw. How would you ever have worked that out? It's straw. Well, that's a logical translation, isn't it? Straw. Well, we all know what straw is, don't we? Well, in your own language you do, yes. But here, straw is different. So you have to work that out. Now, today, I went in and I asked for drywall screws. Now, everybody, let's face it, everybody knows what drywall screws are. Here's drywall screws. Coarse thread drywall screws. It's written on there as plain as day. What's the matter? Are you stupid? You wouldn't believe the number of expats who take that attitude to someone who is trying to help them. One person, when he couldn't, this is a famous one, one person, when he couldn't make himself understood, he actually said to the woman, "What's the matter with you? Are you a retard?" Now, she didn't understand what that meant, but the young man who was listening in on this, from what I hear, did understand it, and he set about our friend with one of those rackets. It's looks like a tennis racket, and in any other field it would be, but they've made it so that it has an electric current running through it and a very fine mesh, and you can swat bugs out of the air. Well, he set about our hero with it, and our hero fled for his life, or worse, and went to the police station and told them about it, how this man had been a naughty boy. See, now, you can't take the attitude that it's everybody else's fault because you can't make yourself understood in a foreign country. So, I keep telling them that I want 1/8 ply. Now look at this here. This is 1/8. Well, you can't see it actually. Why am I wasting my time on that? You can't see it properly. But I'm looking there for 1/8 ply. Maybe you can see it here. There. Do you have 1/8 ply? No sir, we don't have 1/8 ply. It's 1/4. Or, as they call it here, 1/4. Well, look at this. It's not 1/4. This is 1/8 ply. Well, maybe where you come from it's 1/8 ply, but it's not here. That's what they call quarter, or 1/4. So, I get over the fact that I think I might be being charged for 1/4 when I only want one, and I'm receiving 1/8, and I pay. So today I go in and I say, drywall screws. Well, everybody knows that this is a drywall screw. Look at it. It's a drywall screw, for heaven's sake. But I don't take that tack. I say, it's a black screw. It's a screw and it's black. Thinking this is the only screw that you get. Drywall screws are, for some reason, are always black. So, thinking that would do it, no, it doesn't. And they bring me out all kinds of other things, like this, which is for, the lady says, is it for metal? Yes, it is. And it's self-tapping. So you mean this that you had the other day? No, I don't. Finally, I say, why don't you show me what you have? And the young lady led me behind the counter, and I went up to this cabinet which they had, which was full of plastic like this. And look what we have. We have a bag of drywall screws. And first of all, I say, how much are they? And she says, one peso each. I think, oh my God, just the thought of paying 1 peso and buying things by the one, or multiples of, I think, no, it can't be right. Or how much? She said, oh well, or unless you buy these. And here's a whole bag thinking only a foreigner would be stupid enough to buy a whole bag, and it didn't turn out to be quite so expensive, and I bought the whole bag and was very happy to get that, because believe it or not, up to now I failed to find a drywall screw. Amazing. So I've waffled on enough. I'm going to go now and get some work done and see if I can do a little bit of work here. It has been known. Thanks for looking in. This is well, hardly a report, but that shows you where I'm starting from today. Let me see, what is the time? Well, the time according to that clock, which is always 10 or 15 minutes fast, we're just looking at just after 4 o'clock. We just got home, going backwards and forwards several times to Taliban, between Burgos to Taliban, a breakdown on our truck, coming back home, getting up here in time for a lunch on a tricycle. That was a hairy ride, and then back down in the Raptor, and well, back to work. So see you later. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and you can follow all of what we've been doing here, what I've been doing building on our little red house, which has been lying sadly neglected for, well, let me see, must be between 3 and 5 years, and now here we are, we're finally getting something done. Bye for now.